Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of the JMCSS podcast for the district. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. I'll be joined today by two very special guests. Dr. Josie Currie, Principal and Head of School at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. And later, we'll talk high school basketball with Kendall Dancy. He's the new head coach of the JCM boys basketball team. For the district, the JMCSS podcast is a production of the Jackson-Madison County School System in partnership with Forever Communications. You can listen to this episode on demand on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Dr. Currie, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So we start with the same question, no matter the guest. So Your path to school leadership. Was education your first career path coming out of high school? Did you always know you wanted to be a teacher?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up being in my mom's classroom. My mom is a teacher. She just retired this year. So she's going on a new adventure. But I grew up going to school with her and being her teacher assistant, always being in class with her, helping students. And I would run off all of her stuff and help decorate her classroom and pass out the worksheets and always work with the student. And so I just grew up loving other children and loving to help. And so, yeah, I've always wanted to be a teacher.
So having that experience, being the daughter of an educator, are there things that you took with you into the classroom based on that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom's love of teaching and just out of the box thinking is kind of, where I got my passion. She, didn't ever really go by the rules. She always kind of was her own teacher and just loved to inspire students. So I think that's where I kind of got my love of learning, is watching her teach and have other kids just be passionate and engaged in what they're doing and what they're learning. So that's one thing. And then I also got her like teacher eyeballs. So when you're not doing something right, the teacher gives you the look. Yes. And so I use that on my own children as well. So I think I also got that from her.
Dr. Josie Currie, Principal and Head of School at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, or JASA, is our cyber school. Now, Dr. Currie, cyber school grew out of the pandemic response, but virtual schools have been a common format for many parts of the country. Describe for our listeners what JASA, or the Jackson-Madison County School System's cyber school, is all about.
Sure. Well, last year we were a baby school. We had our first graduating class, and last year we got our feet on the ground and learned what exactly we were all about. Before that, we were just a program for Jackson-Madison County. And so last year was our first year as a school recognized by the state. So that was very exciting. We have kind of a demanding schedule that calls on students to kind of control their own learning, if that makes sense. We have a framework and a schedule. We provide the instruction and all of the materials that they need, but they take ownership of that at their house with their families. So it looks a little bit different.
I know it's a unique setup. And I know you guys are having Grandparents' Day soon.
We do. We have Grandparents' Day on Friday. We're very excited about that. It's a picnic, so we have our families coming in. So although students are at their home, we invite them in all the time. People think that, oh, you're a virtual school, so you don't have kids there, but actually they're there all the time. In fact, we're like, you got to do your work too. So it's really great. We have them in for all different types of activities.
I know it's a unique setup. Many people are wondering, what does the typical homeschool family look like? Is there a typical homeschool family or cyber school family?
Yeah, absolutely not. Nope. No typical. Nothing about us is typical. Everything about us is just what our families need. Mm-hmm. So we have families that come to us with all different types of things. So they might have medical concerns. So they need a different environment for their student if they have a fragile, medical student. We have kids that are crazy into sports. They play competitively and they travel. So our schedule works for them. So they get to not be at brick and mortar all the time and worry about the attendance part of that. We have students that their parents travel for work. And so, they need a little bit more flexibility in their schedule. So they get to go travel with their parents and have those experiences during the week where they also kind of stay online with us. So we have a lot of different opportunities and kids that do different things. They all are provided their one-to-one computer and hotspot. So wherever they go, we're available to them. So it works out.
Dr. Josie Currie, principal and head of school at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, or JASA, is our guest this morning on For the District, the JMCSS podcast. If you're listening on the radio and you are from Jackson, you've been in Jackson for a while, you may be wondering more about JASA. Their school colors are purple and silver.
Yes.
And so there's also, I guess, this orange or yellow accent.
Yeah, every once in a while we toss that in there when we get a little crazy. We do that for our e-gaming a lot of times.
Dr. Currie, after the commercial break, we'll talk about some of the programs that set JASA apart from other schools in our district and really other schools from our region. I want to go back and ask you your experience as the daughter of an educator. You talked about teacher's eyes or principal's eyes. Are there any other things based on that experience?
Mm-hmm.
You were raised by an educator.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other things that, shape who you are as a school leader because of that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked a little bit about just engaging students and the passion that you find. And that's something that we have gotten a chance to just really bring out in all of our students. We have asked our families and surveyed our families, what do you want in a school? What works for you? And so we have so many opportunities this year for students from clubs and organizations just all across the board. I don't know if we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Okay. But those things, when you think about education, you typically think about brick and mortar school.
Yes.
But my thought is always around what is engaging and what inspires a student, and what do we have in our future when it comes to career paths that we can guide our kids to get to where they need to be, because so many of the jobs that aren't even thought of right now is what our students will be participating in. And so we're very excited to offer just a different path to those opportunities.
Dr. Josie Currie, principal and head of school at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, is our guest. Also, a little later, we'll talk high school basketball with Kendall Dancy. He's the new head coach of the JCM boys basketball team. You're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM. We'll be right back. Jackson Academic STEAM Academy is Jackson's premier online public school. JASA students can participate in class from anywhere with a computer and internet connection. Although learning is remote, students are able to participate in sports and other activities within the Jackson-Madison County school system. Join Jackson Academic STEAM Academy this fall. Register now at jmcss.org/JASA.
I'm Nixie.
And I'm Annie.
And you're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to For the District, the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System, and I am joined today by two very special guests. In the next segment, Kendall Dancy, the new basketball coach at JCM, will join us. But now, Dr. Josie Currie, principal and head of school at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. Dr. Currie, I've known Dr. King for 2 years now, going into year 3. You've known our superintendent, Dr. King, much longer. Tell us about that.
A little bit longer. I had the pleasure to work for him in Fayette County, where he was my superintendent. So yes, I've known him a little while.
That first conversation, he asked you what you wanted to be.
Yes, he brought us all in and kind of asked us what we wanted to be. And I told him that I wanted to be a princess pal one day.
Principal.
Yeah, principal. Yes. So I call myself a princess pal, but so luckily, the very next year I was at central office, and then the next year he brought me in as principal of Oakland Elementary.
I think that is just gives our listeners a glimpse into the type of leader Dr. King is. He's certainly into raising leaders, and you see that now. Assistant principals
Absolutely.
are starting to have meetings that are set up like the senior leadership meeting. And so this idea of raising the next generation of leaders, Dr. King is on the forefront of that, and I appreciate him for that.
Oh, me too. He's absolutely grown me as a leader. I can say that.
I know many of our peers are grateful for that. Dr. Currie, principal and head of school at JASA, Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. It's the cyber school for JMCSS. Dr. Currie, I know you have several innovative programs going on right now.
Yes.
Probably the biggest, that's the biggest buzz behind the scenes, and people are starting to talk about this in the community, your new partnership with Union University. Tell us about that.
So we're very, very excited about this opportunity. As far as I know, we're the only school that partners with Union. We have our students that they go on campus. They're actually college students for our juniors and seniors. They can earn up to 16 credits at this point. And the best part about it is the students do not pay a dime. So it's just an amazing partnership, an amazing opportunity. They have been on campus. The kids are just thrilled. They're already loving their classes and being hugely successful. So it's very exciting.
That's an amazing win for the Jackson-Madison County school system. So if you're keeping track at home for reasons to choose us, this is another huge reason to choose the Jackson-Madison County school system and Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. There are students at JASA right now taking college classes with Union University. 16 hours they'll be able to get. So I know that's exciting. You think about JCM Early College High and those students earning associate's degrees. I think about students at Madison Academic who are taking college classes because they share that campus with the University of Memphis Lambeth. Jackson-Madison County is truly winning, and so now it's up to the district to share this good news with the community, to let them know about these opportunities. And so that's why we partner with Forever Communications, just to have another outlet to share the good news with families. So we talked about the partnership with Union. Now tell us about some of the other things and initiatives you have on campus. And I know people will say, well, Jackson Academic STEAM Academy is a cyber school. Those students only learn virtually. But if you read the fine print, there's a lot of in-person opportunities. Talk about that, please.
Absolutely. So last year, we asked for a lot of feedback from our families. And one thing that they all wanted was more social interaction. So this year, we have taken a huge step to make sure that we have opportunities for kids. So we have first and third Fridays. First Fridays are club days and third Fridays are STEAM days. So on club days, students have the opportunity to come into the school. Every teacher sponsors or co-sponsors a club. I'll try to remember some of them. We have Lego Club, Beta Club, Book Club, Paper Airplane Club, Archery, Bass Fishing, FFA, 4-H.
That's a diverse
I'm like
range
losing.
of clubs.
Yes, there's something for everyone. And then on third Fridays is STEAM days. So all of the teachers bring the students in and they do project-based learning. So whatever standards they're working on in the classroom, we extend that to include STEAM standards and make sure our curriculum is focused on projects and stuff like that.
Now, although JASA, or Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, is the new kid on the block, so to speak, when you think about schools in the Jackson-Madison County school system, true or false, you had a group of students compete for a national championship this past summer.
We did. We were the only school in West Tennessee that qualified for the eSports High School National Championship. It was televised by ESPN and they went to Walt Disney World. It generated lots of attention for our kids. One of our students even earned a scholarship was
Wow.
offered that full ride. So it's a huge opportunity for our students.
I think Cumberland University is one of the universities that
Yes.
were looking at some of the talent you have there at JASA.
Yes, we have lots of talent.
And let me say it again for those 40 somethings out there. We grew up playing Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Atari. It was only as a game, but now a lot of universities, even major universities, are offering esports.
Yes.
As a varsity club sport.
Mhm.
And so it's an opportunity for students to earn scholarships.
Yeah. And speaking of sports, I just want to put this in there too. Our kids are allowed also to play sports. They can play at their own school as well. So that's a question sometimes too. They're like, well, what else do y'all have? So
we're visiting with Dr. Josie Currie. She's principal and head of school at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. Dr. Currie, it's almost guaranteed someone's going to listen to this conversation. They're either going to want more information, or maybe they've heard enough. Maybe they want to join JASA,
Sure.
Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, our virtual platform or cyber school platform. What do they do to enter JASA?
Email me. You can email me and we will schedule a time to talk. I can answer any questions. We do have an open enrollment, but you can email me at jzcurrie, which Currie at jmcss.org.
Let's do that one more time.
JZ, like a zebra, Currie, Currie at jmcss.org.
If you see me on the YouTube and I'm fiddling with my phone, it's because we have a timer. So I want to make sure I stay on time. Dr. Currie, what's the big event upcoming in September or even in the spring? Some of those events that you guys have throughout the year at JASA. Anything come to mind?
Well, this Friday is our grandparent picnic, but we also have, just like all the other schools, we have all the programs, we have all the academic assemblies, we do all the fun things that all the other brick and mortar schools get to do. So all of those things are fun. Right now we have our teachers at STEM Collaborative. We're fixing to try to apply to be a STEM distinguished school. So that's exciting as well. So all kind of events coming up.
Dr. Josie Currie, principal and head of school at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, has been our guest in this first half of For the District, episode 3. Dr. Currie, I'm sure your peers, your fellow principals are going to call you and ask, how did the show go? Was it hard? Was it difficult? I think we've had fun this morning.
We have had a great time. Thank you for having me.
Again, if you're interested in attending Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, or maybe you just want more information about the programs, maybe you're interested in learning more about the partnership with Union University, where juniors and seniors who attend Jackson Academic STEAM Academy have an opportunity, if they meet the criteria, to partner with Union University and get college credit. Maybe you're interested in esports. Maybe you just like to come out and see one of those club days to see the interaction that takes place at JASA. Where are you all located? People might want to know.
Sure. 1938 Emporium Drive.
If you're from the area, that's right on Van Drive, where Circuit City used to be. Dr. Currie, thank you so much for your time. Again, if you have questions about JASA, go to jmcss.org. On the top right-hand corner, you'll see the schools icon. You'll see our list of schools, and you can check out Jackson Academic STEAM Academy. Dr. Currie, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
After this break, we'll visit with JCM basketball coach Kendall Dancy. You're listening to For the District on JJ 97.7 FM. Before we get to our high school basketball conversation with Coach Dancy, here's a quick note from the arts. Nearly 2,000 patrons attended the Nets production of The Wiz. There were 6 performances over 4 days. It was directed by JCM dance instructor Nadia Beard, and the cast was almost entirely students from the Jackson Madison County School System, including JCM Early College High student Jada Payton as Eveline. Congratulations to all of the students who participated in the Wiz performance.
Hello, I'm Takaya, a star student at Arlington Elementary. You're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
A well-known name in West Tennessee high school basketball has been selected to take over the JCM boys basketball program. Kendall Dancy, the new head coach of JCM, is our guest here on For the District, episode 3. Coach Dancy, first of all, welcome to Jackson-Madison County.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
And let me, for a minute, before we get into X's and O's and your role at JCM, working at Channel 7 is when I first met you several years ago. And, you just interview the coaches about whatever the news of the day is. So you don't really get to know the coach necessarily. Mm-hmm. Talk about your background. You were a Haywood County native, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Proud Haywood County Tomcat, but now Cougar. Happy to be here.
So you graduate from Haywood and you go play college basketball.
Yes. Played at East Tennessee State, and then I left and finished at Virginia Intermont College.
And then after a college basketball career, you played professional basketball overseas.
I did. Spent some time in London playing with the Westminster Warriors basketball club for a couple years, and came back here and started working with young people, and the coaching bug hit me, and I've been here ever since.
I got to interject this because my wife will want to know when she hears this. Did you get to meet the Queen?
Absolutely not. Meeting the Queen is a whole different. I tell you what we did do, though, that was really cool. My mom and aunt came over, and we visited the palace, and we watched the changing of the Queen's Guard, which was really exciting. It was more than I thought it would have been. So if you ever go to London, trust me, that's something that you want to do. It's awesome.
Kendall Dancy, the new head coach of the JCM boys basketball program. And as a JMCSS product and now an employee, I'm excited that you get to share that life experience with the young men in our community. Talk about your mindset entering this job at JCM, particularly because you didn't get the luxury of working the guys out in the summer. So what's your mindset going in?
Well, moving forward, summertime it's kind of where you cut your teeth with the young people, and we weren't able to do that. In fact, I made a call to TSSAA, and October 31st is the first day that we'll actually get to hold tryouts. But in the meanwhile, we have open facilities. Miss Dorsey and Mr. Lewis afforded me the opportunity to get to meet the young men. So they're excited. I'm excited. So we have a thing called open facilities where kind of a free play atmosphere with conditioning, and you can work with a few kids, but actually called TSSAA. We want to make sure that we're in compliance. So looking forward to getting to know the young men and work with them. We won't use that as an excuse.
And you bring up a good point. So the young men at JCM High School and also the young men at JCM Early College High will have an opportunity to play for the JCM basketball program.
Absolutely. What I told the young men was that if ever there was a time to make a basketball team, it's now. I don't know anyone coming in. So even the guys that were on the team, they'll have to try it as well, because we want to make sure that we give young people opportunity to be involved in extracurricular activities. And that's important. That cuts out a whole lot of risky behavior. So I'm just excited about the opportunity. Thrilled to death.
Coach Dancy, you take over a program that reached the Region 7A semifinals in the school's first basketball season since 2016. Talk about what you know, because you were at Ripley. Talk about what you know about the talent that is at JCM, or the potential that you know is there.
Exactly. They played us tough. Both times we played them. Coach Rudolph did a great job of preparing them. In fact, one of the games was 3 points. So excited about the talent. I mean, the goal is simple. We want to build one of the elite programs in the state of Tennessee.
Full stop, period. Say that again, Coach.
The goal is simple. Our plan is to build one of the elite programs in the state of Tennessee, if not the elite program in the state of Tennessee. That's what we do it for.
And I know when the JCM alumni hear you talk like that, they get excited. There is some give and take that comes with that. Well, you coached at your alma mater. Your first high school head coaching job was at Haywood. So in terms of pressure and expectation and alumni excitement, you've dealt with that before.
Absolutely. Being at home was pressure in a sense, but preparation takes care of pressure. Hard work takes care of pressure. Dedication, sacrifice. And I talk to the young men about that. What are you willing to give up? accountability. Are you willing to give up time on the game to practice? Are you willing to do that? Because it pays off in the end. So it's funny you say that. JCM was a rival back in high school. I can remember going to Oman Arena and think about Josie Currie and Marlon, and Mario's a little bit older, but some of the battles that we had, even Al. In fact, Al dislocated a finger.
Al Wilson.
Al Wilson. Now, he was a great football player, heck of a defensive player, and a hack artist, but he'll laugh about that. But I have a ton of friends here, and look forward to, giving the alumni base and just the overall community something to be excited about, a brand of basketball they can be proud of.
The game plan, the roadmap that it takes to get to the state tournament. On your resume, you've made 2 Final Four state tournament appearances. You have a state championship ring. Is that the ring on your finger now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah.
It is.
And that's awesome. Former 2-time All-West Coach of the Year and also TSSAA Coach of the Year. If we visit the new beautiful facilities there at JCM, let's say we visit in October, what are some things we're going to see in the field house? What are some things we're going to hear from you and your assistant coaches?
I tell you, it's exciting. The first time I got an opportunity to see it, Miss Dorsey and Mr. Baker, the athletic director, showed me around and was just thrilled to death. And to think that I get an opportunity to be one of the first coaches to open up a season in such a beautiful facility. I'm just excited about that part. I am high energy, high octane. I get after it. I coach hard. I coach my kids hard, but I love my kids even more, and they know that. And it's about relationship building. So to the parents and the people as a whole, we'll bring an exciting brand of basketball that you might not want to leave. And what I tell the kids, as long as we give it our all and we leave it on the court, the other thing is there's a level of respect that comes along with the game and the priceless things that sports teach our young people.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm checking my timer again. Coach, it's an exciting time in the district. Marlon King, our superintendent, Dr. King, has come in. He's shown not only that he cares about athletics, but he's also provided the infrastructure and the financial support across the district to show why and how sports are important. Thinking about that facility, because you bring it up, and there may be folks who are listening on the radio or later on YouTube that hear you talk about the new facility. As a reminder, there's a new field house behind JCM. It is brand spanking new. In fact, it may be one of the only high schools in Madison County that already has a shot clock. So it was a very innovative and intentional when that facility was put together. Some more of your thoughts, thinking about walking into the field house, even the grand trophy case there. Take us through your first time walking through that facility.
Well, I'll have to start with Miss Dorsey, the principal, who I absolutely adore, and I haven't had the pleasure of knowing her long, but I felt like I've known her my whole life. Cougar land, Cougar nation, Cougar world, but it was just breathtaking. And I would love to be the coach that puts that gold ball in place. It's just to be a part of the tradition that I know Mary High to be. The friends and people that I know here that are excited about me being here. So I'm truly humbled at the opportunity to open that place up. And like I said, I hope that it's standing room only. I hope that people are in line to watch the product that we're able to put together. A good friend of mine told me that things of quality have no fear of time. So we'll build a foundation that we can be proud of, and that the community as a whole could be proud of, and that the alum could be proud of. So let's pack it out and come out and watch this.
Kendall Dancy, he's the new head coach of the JCM boys basketball program. We want to thank him for being our guest on episode 3 of For the District. Now, Coach, is this the last time you visit with us?
Absolutely not. We go way back. We go way
Awesome,
back.
awesome.
Look, I can say when you were the one-man show, best one-man show ever.
I appreciate you saying that. Kendall Dancy, our guest on For the District, the JMCSS podcast, episode 3. That's going to wrap up this show. We also want to thank Dr. Josie Currie, the principal and head of schools at Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, for joining us. Folks, we're already getting into mid-September, so basketball season is right around the corner.
Right.
So be sure not only to check out the Cougars, but all of our teams, boys and girls, in the Jackson-Madison County School System. For the district, I'm Greg Hammond.